Lynda, it's a summertime that you and I get together right now on the announcement of Kim Rudd passing, losing her battle to ovarian cancer. First, let's start off with your thoughts on Kim's passing and what you're going to remember about her.
Well, it was a sad day yesterday when that was announced that Kim had passed. She was a very decent, compassionate, dedicated individual who gave so much to the community and to our country. I mean, she's the epitome of Rotary's service above self. There's no doubt about it. Kim was just a woman that, exemplified giving back in so many ways. And yet she was an incredible entrepreneur and, through her life had a variety of different jobs, I would say, or a variety of different roles, but an outstanding role model for women. And certainly we are going to miss Kim and all that she meant for this community.
So, Lynda, when and where did you first get to meet Kim?
Well, I first met Kim because I had a young daughter, Elizabeth, and she used to go to Cook School Daycare, and it was located at Victoria College at the time. And so when I was going off to work and Elizabeth was spending half a day at kindergarten, she went to daycare, and she went there a little while for after school programming too. But that's where I first met Kim.
It's funny because when we sat down and interviewed Kim last year as part of our International Women's Series, a series that you were part of, she almost stumbled into Cook School Daycare, as she says. It was being forced out of the facility. She was at home with some children of herself. More people were looking for daycare options, and lo and behold, that spun from there. And her and her friend were able to get a mortgage and continue on with that and allow it to stay into the community still to this day under different ownership, yes, but it's still alive today.
Yeah, I think about it, it's pretty amazing. And certainly one of her partners was Lynn Stubbings. And I've known Kim and Lynn since I first met them when I was taking Elizabeth to the daycare. So, and Lynn kept that daycare going and to its move to Queen Street. And certainly it's been, it's had a lot of impact on a lot of children in our community.
It certainly did. So what's this loss mean to this community? As you stated, so many things that she had her hand in, personally wise, business wise, also as an MP. So what do you think the loss is going to mean to this community?
Well, I mean, Kim was a person that really was dedicated to our community, but she fought for our community, right? Wanting to make sure we had the services that we needed in our community. I mean, she went on from looking after youngsters at daycare to looking young people and young adults such at college, right? So she oversaw a private college here and making sure they had the ability to get their education. And then, Kim went on, to be our MP and certainly then fought for things for our community and for, the people of Canada. So, I mean, and she was involved with the Canadian nuclear industry where, Cameco is one of our biggest employers here. So, and one other thing I really need to mention is, of course, she really spearheaded the whole physician recruitment and retention for us here in Northumberland County. When she was part of the chamber, I sat on the chamber board with Kim, and certainly that committee came about, and it was at a time when we were opening a new hospital. We needed more family docs as our community was growing, and Kim and the committee did an excellent job in recruiting. I think I saw yesterday they recruited about 8 doctors, and I bet the majority of them are still here in the community looking after patients.
Were you surprised, Lynda, when Kim decided to throw her hat into the political foray and run for as MPP? Unsuccessful the first time, but successful in her second attempt?
Well, I mean, you never know who's going to run, but I remember hearing about that, and I can't remember if it was at the Rotary Rib Fest that year or whether it was at Waterfront Festival, but I remember that she was throwing her hat in the ring, and I thought, good for Kim for doing that, because, women in politics, there still isn't a ton of women in politics. And certainly, it's always something when you step forward and say, I'm going to put my name forward to run for the local Liberal nomination.
Lynda, what are you going to personally remember and miss about Kim? Because I know that, as you stated through this interview, you had many interactions, either through United Way or personally or through Rotary. What are you going to miss and remember about Kim?
Well, Kim was always someone I'd wanted to hear about what was going on and what you were doing, and if there was any issues you had. I mean, I remember Kim, one of the things she did for United Way was in 2010, we were doing our Backpack for Kids program, and lo and behold, Justin Trudeau showed up to help us stuff backpacks. And I think all my staff will always remember that day when he came by. He actually wasn't in office yet as the Prime Minister, but certainly it was we just felt honored to think that he had come to join us that day, and Kim was the one that spearheaded him coming. But I think with Kim, she was just such a community supporter, and I appreciated all that Kim did for our community and all the support she gave to a wide variety of organizations. And even when she was in Ottawa, she'd come back for events, she'd be there. I mean, she gave a lot of time, and I know she was a true family person, but she was willing to come out and be a part of the community and support, many, many ventures in the community. And, like, she was just everywhere in the community, Kim was, across Northumberland County and Peterborough South.
One final question, Lynda. What do you think her lasting legacy is going to be in this community?
That's a good question. What's her lasting legacy? Well, I think the community itself, if you look at the outpouring on social media, I think people are just totally, totally saddened to hear of her passing. They talk about all the things she did for our community, her commitment here, and her passion for Canada and her passion for her family. So, I mean, it's just been an unbelievable, genuine outpouring for the passing of Kim, and everybody, sends their condolences to Tom and her wonderful family on their, a tremendous loss in Kim's passing.